The next step. So once we introduced Lean in the fulfillment center, we then extended it to the customer service centers. One interesting thing we did, we did some value mapping, and we understood that in some case of some calls from customer, the associate in the customer service center would have to enter 29 clicks. I hit the enter button 29 times in order to find the necessary information to respond to the customer question. So of course, there was a lot of Muda time here. So we rethink all the customer service systems from a customer perspective, i.e., what kind of question will come? And we brought this wasted 29 clicks down the first time we did the Kaizen to 8 clicks, which was already a big progress. So you see, we use the same thinking of this value mapping, what is waste for the customer, and then eliminated that waste to improve the experience both of the customer and the employee who was responding to the customer. In fact, we extended this to define what we call the customer-centric tenets for our customer service employees. And the main one was treat customer as friend or family. Don't worry about the crooks, the computer takes care of them. So yes, there is a few crooks that are going to try to steal money from Amazon. By the way, not many, especially Japan, where particularly there is none, because it's the most honest country in the world. I won't speak too much of my native country, France, where perhaps the data is not so good as Japan. But let's say that even in France and Italy or whatever, United States, the percentage of people that are trying to steal you are not that much. So it's worth taking the risk to be honest with the customer, and then you win a lot. And that's how just, one of the things that happened one day, I call it the New York Times customer Christmas miracle. When somebody called one of our associates, who was located in fact in Kennewick, Washington State, and said, wow, my package is not arrived and I'm in real trouble because I'm divorced and my kids are going to be with me tomorrow night. And I was a little slow to order. And I know it was delivered, but I think it was stolen in front of my door. And the associate said, oh, that's a real problem, sir. We're going to take care of that immediately. We're sending you the same package immediately. You're in New York. We're going to send it from the fulfillment center, which was in Delaware. It will be there tomorrow afternoon. You will have your package for your kids. And he said, how much do I owe you? We said, no, we don't owe us anything. He said, oh, it's my mistake. It was stolen. Said, no, it's okay. Fine. We treat you as our friend. You're good. We like our customers. Imagine, we didn't know, happened that this guy was a New York Times journalist. So we got a good article in the New York Times that day. That's what I call the New York Times customer-centric miracle. Okay, so then we went one step further. We took the concept of hand and cord. As you know, fundamental to the Toyota production system is the ability for associates on the line to stop the line when they detect a defect. And those of you that had the chance to be trained by some Toyota people will have been to factory where you can see 5,000 people stop working because one blue collar on the line somewhere assembling whatever, the wheel of the lights of a car, would stop the line by pulling what's called in Japanese an hand cord, a lantern cord. Because it's a lantern, because everything becomes flashing to say this is where the problem is. So we took this concept and we took it to the customer service associate and we gave them the authority to stop the line. What does that mean? In our case, it means that we will detect through computers, through technology, that the customer is calling for a defect that has already occurred. And therefore that is becoming repetitive. And we warn the associate, this could be a defect that comes from us. And then the associate has the authority to stop the line, which means he will push a button on the computer and the item will move from in stock, buyable, to unbuyable in the quality lab. The associate doesn't have to ask, he or she doesn't have to ask authorization to anybody, just do it. And of course, we had a process behind in place to restart the line. In fact, we had a weekly review with my colleague of retail and myself of all the Anden who had stopped a line for more than 2 weeks. What's going on? Why can't we resolve it? Just an example, the first Anden, I still remember, was an SKU switch. So the customer ordered a headphone and received a hard drive, which is a bit difficult to put around your ears. So we said, and that had happened. It was a second time. So we stopped the line. The associate stopped the line. We went to check. We took all these items out of the fulfillment center, and we realized that there was an SKU switch. The same factory was producing both hard drive and headphone, and they had put the SKU of the headphone on the hard drive, and so the associate, when they were scanning, would not know that they were sending the wrong thing. This process of the Handon Cord, which still exists today, has eliminated hundreds of thousands of customer bad experience, and Bezos loved it, which is a big difference because, when I stopped the line the first time at GE, I remember I was wondering, are they going to fire me for doing this? Because we're not going to produce anymore until we find the defect. Jeff loved it. Jeff wanted it too. In fact, I had to say, well, give me a little time to put the process in place. But he loved the fact that we were going to detect customer defect very quickly through this process.